by other coaches. But let's start with the welcome. Welcome to 76ers camp for the 25. I'm already on 26. For the 25 year, we are excited to have you, excited to be back, and excited to be here for another year. We have some small things that are new this year, but we're back for 40 plus years of Sixers camp, 30 plus years of Sixers camp, and we just want to keep this thing rolling. So we're excited to have you all. Excited to be at all the locations. We secured locations early this year, and we are just ready to go. Next slide, now. All right. So first thing, defining your why, right? Why are you here? We talked a little bit about this in all of our interviews, right? Why are you doing this? What is your purpose of doing this? So, remember your why when you're on the court, when you're talking to these kids and going through your experiences with these kids. Defining your why is so important. Let's just keep this thing positive, keep it rolling, and remember what you told me in the interview. So when you define your why, make sure that you're playing off of everything that you said to me in this interview, in your interviews. So, like I said, the program structure will be a little different this year. The program structure will be a little different within itself, but we have our regular day camps, which are from 9 to 3 at locations throughout the Delaware Valley, Jersey, none in Delaware, Philly, and right outside of Philly. And then we have our academy, which will be 2 weeks this year, ages 10 to 17, held at Newman University. We'll ask the staff to come in, obviously, a day before and do the training. And most of you have experienced this in the past, and we're just going to keep the same format that we've done in the past. So, that's all. This is kind of self-explanatory. Our day camp divisions, we'll be back with the rookies, sophomores, and veterans. A little upset my kids didn't make the manual this year, but it's okay. We'll be back. As you can see, the ages on here, but nothing has changed with this. Ages 6 to 8, 9 to 11, and 12 to 14. I will say that. In this, we have coaches that move around from week to week, whether it's the rookie, whether it's they become a veteran the next week. Hey, listen, you don't have to be a great basketball coach to coach the rookies or the veteran, right? So wherever you are for the week, just make sure that you get in where you fit in and you go from there. Legends. Each legend has been contacted. We don't have any new legends for this year. We have Mark Jackson, Tim Perry, Jermaine Jones, and Billy Owens this year. Looking to get more legends, but the most legendary person or thing that comes to camp for us is Franklin, right? And each week, I hope that we'll get a chance to experience Franklin as a camp, but the kids get a chance to experience Franklin, which is the best part of camp for a lot of the kids. So our legends are back this year. They're in full effect, and they'll be delivering their great messages. All right. So tool belt, our tool belt, right? And this is kind of, kind of the things that we kind of give out as a camp, right? And for us, we want to grow leaders to become captains, right? So we pick captains during the week, or you pick captains on your team, and then we go from there. And as kids, they want to cultivate new best friends, right? That's another thing that the kids want to do. They want to have their best friends, play with their best friends, be around their best friends, and that's just a part of camp. We want to begin every day in positive focus, right? So what that means is just making sure that the kids are locked in, but not only making sure that the kids are locked in, but making sure our staff is locked in. Our directors do a great job. They've been doing this now for years. And we just want to make sure that everybody's locked in when we're doing when we're locked in, right? When we're expecting the kids to be locked in, we want to make sure that our staff is locked in, right? So, Pat, we won't go to the gratitude, right? But we want to celebrate achievements. I know at the academy, the kids have the trophy, they ring the bell. There's a legitimate championship. They're fighting all week for a championship, literally and figuratively. But we just want to make sure that we celebrate all achievements, right? And teach the 5 and 2 mission. That's the handshake, 5 fingers, 2 eyes. We want to make sure that the kids are locked into you all the time with a simple handshake, hello, a greeting in the morning. So we want to make sure that the kids have that and live by the 3 R's: respect yourself, respect others, and respect your environment. As long as we've had that, we haven't had any major issues in the past. But as long as we have respect for those three things, yourself, others, and the environment, camp will go smooth. And you guys are here, guys and girls are here to make sure that that respect is being carried out, not only from the kids, but from the staff in itself. So our roadmap.
I'll give you a break. I'll give you a break.
Yeah,
I said I was
please.
gonna make John looks out of breath. I said I was gonna make him do all the initial slides. But appreciate you turning it over. A couple things. We're renters at all of our sites. That's how this works. So make sure the site is clean. Yeah, I think as a parent, you don't get to see a lot of camp. So making sure car line looks tight, everybody is in uniform, everybody looks good. For our facility partners, they love to see that hey, everything's organized. We get a lot of compliments. You would be surprised of how many facilities will either tell us when we're there or contact us right afterwards or ask us back, just because of the way that our leaders, our coaches, our staff act on site and our kids act on site. So it makes a big difference for us. John mentioned 5 and 2. Any other Sixers traditions like ringing the bell at overnight camp or whatever we have. We have a scouting report each week. We have certain things that we've done at Sixers camp for a long time and some newer traditions. So that's part of the signature experience. Certainly the Sixers legends, which John mentioned. And then really the way that you begin and end each day. I think this looks a little bit different from camp to camp, but the way you start the day, the way you end the day, um, anything you can do to get kids excited. It's awesome, like looking through the pictures and being on site and seeing the funny stuff that kids get excited for. So I remember I used this example a couple times. I remember last year I was at St. Joe's and Rob had them playing dribble, duck, duck, goose. It was like ear piercingly loud in the gym, right? They were all going crazy. So whatever, the beginning of the day, the end of the day, we certainly want them to be extra special moments for our campers. Um, Car line, we have speakers on site. So sometimes some sites will put speakers in the gym, sometimes sites at car line. Just be engaging, whatever the parents need. That's really their time to get to you. If they have a question or they want to, you know, have an issue, just have them pull off to the side and make some time for them. Keeping your group together is important. Obviously, wherever you're going. Luckily, with basketball, there's not a ton of transitions or walking space for a lot of our facilities, so everything's pretty close in proximity. We'll talk about Spirit of 76, our character development program, in just a second, and really just your presence. I think the most important thing maybe to remember from all these trainings or to think about when you're doing this is like you will be the conversation of the dinner table without a doubt. Like they will talk about their coaches, they'll talk about Coach Jarrett, they'll talk about Coach Jack, Coach Rob. Like you'll be the ones that they're telling their parents about in the car ride. So know that you're living up to that expectation, not just the expectation of ESF camps, which has been around since 1982, and Junior 76ers camps, which have been around since 85, but also the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. Like, one time we had an issue with a student at overnight camp, and Nicole Turner, our director, told the parent like, "Hey, this is an NBA camp. Like we have a bar. Like this is where we're at." And it's true for all of our team members and our campers. There's an expectation here. So have that presence on site and know that you are important to our kids. All right, Spirit of 76.
Fearless 76. We'll bring in the legendary Coach Rob Wharton. Talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks, John. Good evening, everybody. My name's Rob Wharton. I am a division coordinator with the 76ers, Junior 76ers. I think this is year 6 for me. Just going to talk to you guys briefly about the spirit of 76er Junior Camp. Personally, I just take it upon myself to make it a valid attempt to have more fun than the kids. And obviously that's not the goal, but um, I've always heard John talk about in his interviews when he interviews everyone, why are you here? What is your purpose for being here? And I think that as coaches, coordinators, counselors, et cetera, admin, trainers, whoever's here, is our job to really stress our virtues, which are respect, teamwork, positivity, and leadership. Each day, our campers are given a card. We have a theme or a thought for the day relative to those cards. And it's important to stress those things. The kids are coming to us for a various different amount of reasons. We have campers coming because they need babysitting. We have kids coming because they want to become better basketball players. We have kids coming because they think that Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey is walking through the door to teach them some skills.
I can't hear him.
Turn.
No, you're
Right.
good. We can hear you. Jack.
Okay.
Now I can
Yeah,
hear
there
him.
you go.
Okay, sorry, Jack. All right.
Right.
Actually be a little louder as well. So like I said, each day we give out a card. It's important that we stress it throughout the day as the kids are going through drills. Ask them about the card. As coaches, counselors, etc., we give examples of each card or, what's this word about and why we're stressing it and the importance of it. So that's always important. Just a few things, just a couple sidebars. I think Matt really hit it on the head. As staff, we are the talk of these kids' dinner table. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I like to always be a part of the car line so the parents can put my face to names and et cetera. And what happens is these kids, they feed off of us. I know there are times when we're tired, the kids burn us out. They're obviously a handful, but I have a daily motto that sometimes I just have to fake it until I make it. I don't expect everybody to be like me, animated, rolling around on the floor, stuff like that, etc. But I just think it's important to give all of the kids our best and it makes things better. We keep them engaged, we keep them locked in, we get them trying things that they don't necessarily like and give them that push, keeping our, camp models in hand. And we're pretty much usually okay. All right. So just keeping all that in mind. But I'm always excited. I look forward to, being there every day. And if we match the kids' excitement or make them match ours, we're pretty much in decent shape. So that's pretty much it for me.
Thanks, Coach Rob. We appreciate it, man. Really do. Really appreciate everything that you do for us and all the excitement and energy that you bring to every camp that you're allowed to work. All right, mission 5 and 2, right? We talked about respect. We talked about our virtues. We talked about the spirit. Now we talk about mission 5 and 2. And that's just your 5 fingers. Greet the kids greet you. Handshake, proper handshake, strong handshake, 2 eyes facing forward. Mission 5 and 2. And that's how we start the day. That's how we start the week. And that just gives us a strong base for everything moving forward. And that's not only with the kids, that's not only the interaction with the kids and players, but also there will be other staff and facilities. We're guests in other facilities, so we'll be renting. So that goes for everyone. You'll be surprised how relationships that you make as staff on site help you in the long run. right? And I know some of our directors and some of our division coordinators have ran into people where they've had to handle situations themselves. So just a simple handshake, eye contact, start the week, start the day, smile, and we go from there. Equipment checklist. Equipment checklist. We'll hand it off to legendary coach Jack Martin.
All right. Thank you, John. How you guys doing today? In continuing with what they're saying, what you're going to do is get the basketballs. They're in the bags. It's about one ball for every 3 players. All right. I think in the past, before I was here, every camper got a ball and they went home. But we reuse these balls, 8 balls in a bag. We see how many we have. Make sure they're all pumped up. We have a pump. If there's a problem with the ball, bring it to the director. We'll get it out. We'll get it fixed. If there's too many, we'll call John to come get them and switch them out. But they got to last all year, and they go with us from site to site. We have a trainer, all right, and the facilities that we use are very good about letting us use anything if we needed it. But we have our training kit. We have our portable AED to make sure everybody's safe, because safety is the #1 thing. General equipment. Now, we also bring different things you can do for drills. The biggest thing a coach can do is make sure you're prepared. Don't show up, what am I going to do with these kids today? If you're prepared, the kids love to use these cones. They love to dribble around trash cans and pull up for a jumper, anything you can do. So make sure you take advantage of using the equipment that we send to each site. The administrative specialists will be there. They'll organize the giveaway every day. We'll have a meeting, the coaches and director, before we get started. You'll know what card we're giving out to talk about. You'll know what the giveaway is. You'll know what day the legend's going to come and talk to them, because the kids start bugging on Monday who it is and when are they coming. On Mondays, we give them their jerseys. It's different. Different administrators have it different ways. So when I go there, however they decide to do it, I just follow along and help them do it. But if you're a coach, don't just sit down on the wall and wait till we get started. Jump in, right? Everybody, it works so much better. And then you're going to get a folder. You're going to get a folder with your rosters. It has everything in it. Get to know your kids. Make sure you check off the attendance every day for that kid, and just keep an eye on them. And like everybody's been saying so far, we'll make sure that the talent levels is even, so everybody gets a good shake. If you have 1 or 2 kids that are better than others in your group, we'll move some people around to make it work for everybody. Every site has the feather banners, the backdrops, stickers are up on the wall or on the bleachers, wherever it is, the pop-up things. Please, those things are not real strong sometimes, especially those pop-up banners and stuff. Make sure that they're on the court, that you just don't throw them off, but make sure you take care of them. If you see the stickers coming off the wall, make sure you stick it back up there, and respect the logo. Respect the logo. It's going to be everywhere. Safety check. Safety is #1. It might sound silly, but you got to make sure that even the little things are in place. If I'm a director, I make sure the bathrooms are okay before the kids get there. We had an incident last year where the dividers were down, but it had a metal pole in the bottom. That's something maybe we should have. It was great to have the divider down, but we should have said maybe ahead of time, hey, let's get this thing up. So make sure you're aware of where the bleachers are, of how the bathrooms are set up. Make sure you don't want a kid walking out a door and getting locked out. Check the other doors that are around there. You don't have to run around the whole building, but I'm talking about the gym part of that. Make sure anything that's going to be in the way is moved. Like if people have benches or weights out there on the court, or just anything, make sure it's safe. Everything's off of there. Make sure there's nothing that's impeding the kid. We're going to run around, trip, and get hurt. And when we start camp, or when we start to let the campers in, if you see somebody there that's not part of our camp, you just ask them, if they leave. Every site's different. For example, in Cherry Hill, they have open gyms after the camp, and some kids want to come in and watch the end of camp. Can do me a favor and just wait outside in the hallway till we'll be done shortly, stuff like that. And just make sure the kids are safe. Make sure walking out to the cars that everybody knows what's going on, and you keep an eye on all the kids. And like I said, safety is number one.
All right, so that's me. Early player arrivals. I do want to say, Coach Jack, thank you, because Coach Jack is one of the directors who, sometimes you show up and it's the end of the day and he's sweating just from cleaning up and respecting the facility. And he wants to be left alone while he's cleaning up, and doing what he's supposed to do. So we really appreciate that, Coach Jack. Early player arrival, right? Players sometimes start coming in, and they'll come in a little earlier on Monday, but they start to come in about 8:15. On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you might get some at 8 o'clock on a Monday. With those early players, right? We just want to get up and be engaged. Coach Jack just talked about it. Get up, be engaged with the players. The most basic thing, rebounding for them, talking to them, saying hello to them, looking them in the eye, right? Anything can help make their day, right? And once the other players come in, they'll feel confident and comfortable enough to start playing with them. But please don't sit down and be on your phone. Once that first player arrives, be up, be engaged. Like I said, talking to them, just rebounding for them. Maybe run them through a simple drill or two, layups. Let me see how your layup looks. And then at the end of the week, you want to see maybe this kid has improved on something that you taught him. Maybe he can make a layup now every single time instead of making 3 out of 4 layups, right? So these are the things that you want to do when a player arrives early. Please, 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 please don't sit down. You see a kid in the gym, don't sit there on your phone. Please don't sit there on your phone with your hat on, with the headphones on, talking on the phone. Please, 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 not that. Be up, be engaged, and be ready to go.
Hi,
Carline,
everyone.
sorry. Legendary Coach Shay Collins with a championship this year at Monco.
All right,
Hi,
all right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shay, one of the directors at the camp. A couple people already touched on it. Rob, Jack, you guys touched on it a little bit, but Carline is the most important part. I'm gonna say one very important part of camp. It's the first interaction that you have with the kids, and like we go all out with it. I'm always in car line. That's probably why they make me talk about it because um I'm always in car line. This is when you shaking hands, you kissing babies, you telling people, oh, that's a nice hat. Making sure that the kids have their water bottles, their food and stuff like that. Especially on the first day when the kids are a little nervous. You kind of want to break that barrier, give them high fives and all that stuff like that as they're walking in the camp and guide them, like the first day camp we were really more hands-on than all of the other days because sometimes the kids don't know where to go in certain locations. It's not as simple as like, oh, the door's right there. Sometimes you got to walk down around the corner. I know at my school, Monco, from where the car line is to where the actual gym is, it's like a mile long. So we have like 3 people in between kind of guiding the kids to get to the gym. So yeah, that's player drop off, very important. And then player pickup is actually probably the most important thing because you want to make sure that the kids are actually going back to their parents. Um Check IDs. They we had the paper in the past. Do we still have the paper, guys? Okay, yep. So there'll be a paper that the parents will have to have on them to ensure that their kid matches, who they say they are. Sometimes people will be like picking up a neighbor's son or something like that. They still need to have the form as well. So if anyone ever has any issues with that, you just come get a director and we will assist. Kind of like what John was saying, when the kids walk into the gym, you don't really want to be on your phone, you want to be engaged. It's the same thing with car line, drop off and pick up. You want to make sure that that the directors and stuff like that see you engaged in Carline. Next up is the look. I wore my special Sixer shirt for you guys. This is this is one from last year. I have 99 million of these shirts, so be prepared. You will too. Every day you want to make sure you have on a red shirt. Like I said, you get 3 to choose from, and if you've been here for a while, you probably have, like I said, 19. So pick one of those red shirts and make sure it is a red shirt. As far as shorts go, plain shorts, gray, blue. You know, keep it athletic gear, but keep it simple. I don't want to see Golden State Warrior shorts and stuff like that. We wanted to make sure that it says Sixers. I shouldn't have to say this, but I know one year I seen somebody wearing denim shorts, like no jeans, no jean shorts and stuff like that. Athletic gear. Even as far as your sneakers go, I like to change my sneakers a lot, but be aware that you are active with the kids. So you may be wearing them nice Jordan 3s or them Jordan retros might not be the smartest thing in camp because you're in the drills. You know, I even as a director, coordinator, I hop in the drills often. So yeah, just make sure that you have a red shirt and shorts on. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Shay. All right, so Coach of the Week. Coach of the Week is something that we've talked about, and we'll make sure that we have all that information, myself and Dr. Genta. But Coach of the Week goes to the coach who we feel is not only not just the most outstanding coach as far as basketball goes, but a coach who's really, really engaged with the kids, engaged with the other staff members, engaged with the parents at Carline, engaged with the facility staff, and somebody who just highlights the week and brightens up the week. This comes directly from the directors. The directors will nominate a coach of the week, and then we kind of pick the coach of the week. Myself and Matt Genta off the recommendation of the directors. And he's, I don't want to read the slide, but I do want to say that we really do. If you're a counselor in the beginning of the summer and this is your first year, right, and maybe you're not such a strong counselor in the beginning, and towards the end you become a better counselor. Engagement with staff, players, facility staff, and then we see that you're a stronger counselor at the end of the summer. You may be picked for coach of the week just based off of that. So we're always looking. We always have our ears to the ground. I try to visit each site as much as I possibly can, and we just kind of go from there. And Coach of the Week gets a internet shout out and a certificate, and also something that we deem special for that week. So Coach of the Week is a big thing. Doc, you want to talk about branding?
Yes, sir. So, one, Shay mentioned the uniform, which is good. That is part of branding, right? It is impressive when you pull up the site. And I will say, we changed our uniform last year to be exclusively all red, and it helped. It actually got big time marks from not only our facilities but our parents. It's easy for the kids to know, like, hey, staff members are in red, right? Kids are wearing blue, staff members are in red. So you are part of the branding. We'll have feather banners on site, usually at key drop points, like, if it's a key turn in or they're wayfinding, they'll help parents navigate their way through the parking lot to the actual gym door. Pure Fuel is back as our sponsor, so they're a big part of our branding. We'll have pop-up banners that are Junior 76ers branded and also Pure Fuel branded in the gym. We have that big roll banner that we'll use, and then also the media backdrop. So for us, it's hard to brand a whole facility. Like, it's tough. Like, if you came to our overnight camp at Newman, we're there for a couple weeks, it's a little bit easier, right? We can make ourselves at home and spread out a little bit. It's hard when we're only in a place for 4 or 5 days to really, to get that across. And we want the kids to have that Sixers experience. So, certainly all the curriculum and this entire experience has been curated in conjunction with the 76ers. But we want the kids to feel that when they're everywhere. So our branding's important. If you need anything branding wise, we'll help you out, and then John and I will help coordinate the Pure Fuel sampling dates on site each week.
Hey, before we get into the next slide, a little bit on branding, Doc. Whatever we put in the box or the package for branding, please try to use. It may not cover a large area, but if you can put it in high traffic areas, meaning the roll banners, right? We want to hang those up in high traffic areas where kids and parents can see them. But please try to use all of the branding that we provide. I've gone to sites and I've seen branding at the bottom of our boxes that we give out. Please just use it all. Just use it all. However you set it up. If I'm not there, if Matt is not there, however you set it up is perfect. Just set it up in a high traffic area, but use all of the branding, please. For closing ceremonies, we'll go to legendary coach Ashita Cooper.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Ashita. Going into my 5th year directing Sixers camp. I'm going to talk about closing ceremonies a little bit. This part is where we kind of get to put a pretty little bow on camp for the campers. It's something that they get. It's an actual contract. We print it on hard paper for them. And I believe either John or Matt's signature is on the bottom as well to make it super official. We like to give it to the campers at the end of course, the camp day on Thursday this year, which will be our last day, just to show them all the hard work that they did. They earned some type of certificate for it. Now, some of them actually think it's a real live contract where they'll get to be playing with the Sixers, and we like to hype them up as much as possible to think that they did earn that place as a Sixer. They've gotten all their gear all throughout the week, whether it be their jerseys, water bottles, headbands, and that's just the final little bow for them to give to their parents. There is a little slot underneath for them to sign as well, but I like to wait to tell them to sign with their parents. You can tell them that they're all still minors under 18 and they should do it with the parent to kind of engage mom and dad at home as well. Let them feel like they were part of the experience. Usually every director is different, but I like to give my coaches the opportunity to, of course, give the award. Since they've been with them all week, they know all their little nuances, all their little feats that they hit, whatever milestone they may have hit. They can talk about each individual camper before handing them the award in front of their peers. That usually is a good time too to bring up some funny things that may have happened in camp, right? Bring up how on the first day, maybe the camper didn't want to participate or didn't have any friends, and now they're a socialite of the group. You can bring up everything. You don't have to totally make it about their basketball skills or ability during that time. So any little thing you can think of that the student had some type of bright moment during camp, that would be a great time to bring that up and give it to them in front of all their teammates and peers in their division. Daily schedule. So we can skip through a few of these dates, but I like to just take a second and look at Monday. As you guys see, 7:30, we like to have our staff already there and already getting camp set up. Usually your director will assign you whatever task they need from you. Just like everyone else said that spec before me, best to be a good sport, help out as much as you can, and help things go a lot smoother. Around 8:15 is when the early arrival campers will start coming in. It might just be 1 or 2, so please try your best to engage that camper. Don't let them feel like a loner amongst all the adults in the building. Yeah, just like John said, go ahead, let me see that layup. Let me see that jump shot. Can you do this? Can you do that? Have a little bit of fun with them. By 8:45, there will be a more influx of campers coming in. That will be where a lot of your directors as well as the admin specialist will be there checking them in. So as they come in, if you're in the gym and not outside on car line, again, engage the campers. You might not have that camper throughout the week, but it's still nice to see an adult that's, cares enough to say hi to you. Morning meeting and staff introductions. Morning meeting, you'll have one, of course, with just the staff, and then you'll also have one with the campers. As a director, I like to start off the morning meetings, but when on a Monday particularly, we of course have to introduce our campers to who their coaches will be for the whole week. It's a little tedious, but we want to make sure that every camper is assigned to the correct division by age group and the correct coach, so we can make sure that we keep track of attendance throughout the week. Next comes up stretching and warming. Again, I like to do a large group thing just to get everybody involved. Let the little campers, the rookies, see some of the vets and get everyone going, see who can get to be the loudest, who wants to be the most engaged, and create kind of an internal competition within different divisions. But again, just track to your site director because everyone is a little different. Moving after that, we get right into skills and development. As you can see on here, we have a full schedule of each day that you can rely on. I know Coach Rob mentioned being prepared. This is a little cheat sheet for that. You can see at 9:45, we have on Monday, it's ball handling, Maverick series, different things like that. Now, I will say that I'm a little lenient with some of my coaches who I know have some advanced basketball knowledge. If you have different drills you would like to implement and you think that your campers are able to handle it, by all means, definitely go ahead, but just make sure you check with your director and you're staying within the time frame. Again, next 10:30 water break and snack. That's very important, especially for our younger group. They get very tired and they're burning a lot of energy. So we want to make sure that we're implementing those water and snack breaks. I know we have on here water breaks, but I also want to be mindful if a camper asks for water at any point, please allow them to get water, right? We're not running a varsity or Division I practice here. We are going to allow them to take a break if they need as well, as long as they're staying engaged and they're somewhere where you can see them. Next, we get into 3-on-3, different things. Again, like I said, please refer to your director if you have a different idea from something that's on the schedule, but as long as it's within bounds, I'm sure none of your directors will have a problem. Next, and the only thing that I will say, except for arrival and dismissal, that's non-negotiable are lunches. We will start rookie lunches from 11:30 and we'll run in 30-minute increments for each other division after. Again, if a camper needs a little extra time, please give them that time or alert your director that you're taking your group, but this particular camper needs some time and we'll make sure they have the proper supervision. After that, we like to come and have our afternoon meeting. Again, not only to help the food digest and help campers calm down, but to also get the time to talk about some of our words of the day. As you can see on the bottom there, Monday, we like to start with positivity. So usually I myself, or I pick an enthusiastic coach to kind of give the word of the day. Usually it comes with a little card you'll all see. Usually like to engage some campers too, have one of them stand up and say what their definition of the word may be before we tie it all up with a bow with them. And then we go into our afternoon activities, which will include our skills challenge. Every day there will be a separate skills challenge. Starting on Monday, we'll be dribbling. Again, each director might have different variations of the skills challenge, but it is important that we actually give each individual camper the opportunity to show their skill level during that time, followed by another break. And then what the question you'll get all day will be is when we're playing 5-on-5. And you can see right there, we like to hold that until about 2 o'clock, right? We can't spend the whole day at camp playing 5v5 or 3v3. Their parents did not pay for that. So please kindly remind them that we do have a schedule and it's all builds up to that 5-on-5 game. Matt, if you want to keep going, you're scrolling by. Again, you can see Tuesday, not much difference. Only thing, skills challenge is layups that day, and the word of the day is teamwork, but very similar and uniform throughout the week. All the way up to Thursday, which I believe there won't be much time for a skills challenge because a lot of directors like to play that final game. I know sometimes we even have time for a staffer versus coaches versus camper game, which I know they all love. They put all their attention into it and it keeps all the campers engaged. Usually that happens followed by the closing ceremony that we discussed earlier. But like I said, using these help you stay on track. It helps everyone on the same page because we can look, oh, it's 9:30. We know that everyone should be over here. We know that, you know what I mean? So please do not deviate too far from the schedule because it is there to help things run more smoothly throughout the week.
Awesome. So The scouting report, right? Scouting report is preloaded. All that you have to do as coaches is go on your phone and fill out literally just it's preloaded. So we'll give you a sheet of paper. We'll give you a sheet of paper. We'll give you a QR code. You just go on there, put your phone on the QR code, and fill out the questions. Very simple, very easy. But I will reiterate how big it is and how important it is to parents and to families. They want to see and they want to know what it is that their kid was doing at camp that week. So we may feel like, oh, it's tedious or whatever it is, but the parents, it's important to the parents, the families, and the kids. So let's make sure that we're filling out scouting reports and we're getting those scouting reports in. The directors and division coordinators will review them, but make sure that we're please getting them in. We don't want to be late in filling out these scouting reports. Okay. The warm up. And go ahead, Doug, you can keep going. All right, so we want to start the day off with dynamic warm up. Just to get the kids' blood flowing. And honestly, our directors are so good and our staffers have been so good in the past that it's not always this exact same thing. I've seen warm-ups done so many different ways. And that's just a testament to the people and everyone that we have working for us. But just to get the blood flowing, get the energy going in the room, we need to have a 10 to 15 minute warm-up to start the day. All right, skill development stations, right? And this is just your general stations that you have at all type of camps. We have a resource guide for you. We have a resource guide for you that you can pull up on your phone if you're missing a drill. But our coaches, our directors are really good. If you need a drill to go to, if you need any drills for your station, our directors are very, very good at that. And they can be a resource for you, a live resource for you, if you don't have the basketball knowledge. And here you can see there's some things, right? Some drills and some stuff that we can work on throughout the week. Obviously, that depends on the skill level of the kids. But we have it's so much that we have for you guys here. And you can keep going, Mr. Genta. But it's just so much that we have, and obviously it's just depending on the skill level, and you'll be able to tell the skill level right away, even if basketball is not your strong point. But a lot of this stuff actually can be used on the high school or college level. But overnight camp is really when you get a time, the academy is when you get a time to really practice with the team and work on this stuff and do this kind of stuff. So if you're a high school coach, or any type of coach, I know Coach Shea is a college coach. These are good references for just fundamentals. These are really good references for fundamentals. All right. So that's that. All right. So this last slide, let's look at this last slide. Make it special, right? I do want to talk about making it special. You can see the smiles on the kids' faces, on Carsby's face here. It can be easy, simple drills. It could be easy, simple competition, just running back and forth with the basketball. It can be easy as long as you're having a good time. The kids are having a good time. Everybody's engaged with each other. That's what this camp is all about. It's not about being the number one player and the best player at camp. It's about developing and having fun with your peers and everyone around you. So make it special for the kids. Give them a smile. Sometimes they need the smile. Sometimes you need the smile from them. So make it special for them, even when it's on the court and it's competitive.